Now, to end this week, I have one final game I want to discuss. It's a pretty game-heavy episode this week, but I couldn't not mention the final game in the My Hero Academia One's Justice franchise, All's Justice. Now, for those of you that are unaware, this is an arena-based fighter, and it's pretty much felt the exact same whether it was One's Justice 1 or 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game doesn't feel too dissimilar to the previous games. However, they are throwing a couple elements into this game to really change it up. First, of course, we're going to be seeing all of Class 1A in this game as playable characters, which I'm really excited to see how they will not only port the characters that were never in the game in the first place in, but how they will update old characters to fit with their new playstyle in this new series. Because speaking of which, this game will take place around the final war that is culminating in the anime right now and finished up in the manga quite a bit ago. It is unsure if they will bridge the gap between the second and this game, or if that will be treated as just flashbacks or potentially DLC. But from what it looks like this game is going to go full drive with making sure every part of the previous games are pushed to their absolute limit. And to do that, they're adding a few new mechanics. First, there's a tag mechanic, so you can finally tag in and out with characters, make team comps, and actually be able to lab out specific character switch out combos, which I feel like is going to really liven up the tournament gameplay and just the gameplay online and on couch. Just overall, it'll improve stuff and make stuff more diverse. And who knows, maybe they'll go the Demon Slayer 2 route and give everybody team ults, which would be so cool, especially with how much we see characters interact into the show. But the other thing they're adding to this game is what they're calling a rising mechanic. Now, apparently this is going to be a buff, but it is unclear if it will act the same across all characters or if it will be utilized different depending on what character uses it. Now, I'm really excited to see how they will go about this game and the story. It's going to look amazing. The cutscenes look to be a head above anything else we've seen in the previous games, so it's going to be kind of to the same vein as Bleach Rebirth of Souls, where we're going to get a pretty expansive story mode, but they are going to take the visuals and just crank them up to 11. Now, my one kind of hopeful wishful thinking is that we will get some semblance of an install in the game across all characters, i.e. a quirk enhancement or quirk evolution mechanic, just to liven up every character, give them a second play style, and really just juice them up for the final third of the match. But it'll be really interesting how they take the character roster size of this, because there's so much you could choose from Mirako to Lady Nagant to pretty much every character in Class 1B and the other characters that we've seen in My Hero Ultra Rumble. But that's also what Globeku said on his recent roster prediction, so I can't take credit for that. And of course, there's also Young All For One and Mechamite, I'm gonna call him, which will be cool. And I can't believe I forgot to mention the characters we could see from My Hero Vigilantes, like the slippery boy Koichi, the pop star Popstep, and of course I would love to play as Knuckle Duster to box up everyone. Anyways, I haven't even covered the prequel skins we could see for all the heroes, and you know that Stain skin is going to be a heater. Now, was this whole bit just an excuse to talk about My Hero's last season and Vigilantes and the new game? Well, yeah, definitely. But again, I just hope this doesn't fall into the same pattern that the other two games were, where they come out, there's one meta, you play the one meta, and the game dies in 2 weeks. Like I've been saying for the past couple weeks about these 2D fighters, it is kind of problematic unless there's a way to switch things up. And I hope that switching characters and also this new rising mechanic can do that. But I'm also hopeful for kind of an install so we can actually see quirk evolutions. But the one thing I will admit is the ultimates are going to look godly. But at this point, there's not much else to discuss on My Hero All's Justice. As for those of you that are unaware, go watch the My Hero anime to see the final season, and obviously go check out the manga if you want to see it even sooner than that. And of course, this game does not have a release date yet, so we'll probably have to wait until next year to get our hands on it, but I'm sure it'll be a fun time. But that's pretty much everything I have to discuss when it comes to My Hero Academia All's Justice. But at this point, I think it's time for me to send it back to me and my friends to end this week's episode.